Good morning. I'm Deborah Day from the Home Ministry team, and we will be hearing Reverend J. Smith talk today. And before that, I would like to give an opening prayer. So if we could just center ourselves, take a couple of deep breaths, feel our feet connected to Mother Earth, and be present for the words and messages that are going to come to us today. So let us pray. Father, Mother, God, Goddess, Great Spirit, please bless us in this awesome, challenging moment and guide us, humanity, in how to create this new world we are building. From the ashes, the essences of what has gone before, and now from fresh, pure, new inspiration. Teach us to truly love, honor, and respect ourselves individually, so we may truly love, honor, respect, and understand all humans equally, as well as all other creatures on earth and Mother Earth herself, so we may have the qualities needed to create the new earth. Help us to build a new world of plenty, respect, opportunity, and love for all, where we truly understand that we are each, in our uniqueness, a spark of the same divine unified source, where no race, gender, sexual orientation, age, ability, or any other distinction is less than or greater than any other, where every individual is valued, where every child and adult has, without question, food, shelter, and opportunity to thrive, where every child and every adult is cherished and respected as the treasure they are, a precious jewel of humanity, each with unique gifts to contribute to the unified whole of which we are all a part. We ask that in order to create a new world, we may strongly connect to our highest guidance each day, and that we may strongly and frequently remind ourselves to keep that connection until it becomes automatic, so that we may call upon our highest divine source to guide us as we create a flourishing new earth. And so it is. Amen. And now Reverend J.
Thank you. Well, welcome to Sunday. The weeks keep marching by real fast and won't be long in the time for Christmas.
Oh, they're pushing it.
But between now and then, I hope there's going to be a lot of changes going on. It takes some practice to know when trouble comes knocking at the door, it's a simple opportunity in disguise. Those of us on a spiritual path recognize this truth because so many of us have in the past experienced difficulty, painful events that as we look back and create our greatest opportunities through transformation. Only when we look back, one of the problems I've been having for the last 2 or 3 weeks is sitting in the house a lot alone. The phone doesn't ring, and I go down memory lane, and I flipped them over to look at the other side of the event, the part that I remember most, but what was on the other side? And I realized I'd missed the most important part was on the other side. Like picking up my grandparents and bringing them over for Christmas, I thought it was a great treat for me, but I forgot how a great treat it was for my grandparents to have their grandson come and get them and invite them to spend Christmas. And they bubbled it all for the 4 hours we were traveling back and forth, and I missed that. I missed so many little things along the way that I was so engrossed in what was going on that I didn't see what was reflecting back to me. And that's what we all should be looking at. And I brought something along today for you all to look at. It's a nice picture. Look at that beautiful picture. What a magnificent home. What a bodacious pickup truck. Can't you see yourself enjoying the festivities of all of it in that house and getting out there and running and jumping in that truck and zooming down the road? Well, most of you don't zoom down the road because what we're doing is we're stuck in this. We're stuck in yesterday. Old rules, old laws, old hatreds, all this old stuff. And when I went through the store the other day, I looked at this and I said, the universe said, take it home with you. And I said, what for? He said, take it home. You're going to need this one day. Well, this one day is here. It shows me all the people that are stuck out there, what kind of home they're stuck in, packing all their goodies in. And I'm thinking, how much it cost to renovate this place would cost more than tearing it down. What it would cost to fix up this truck was more, they could go out and buy a new one. So let's start with new products and start doing things a new way instead of making do. This is making do. Look how it doesn't even set in the proper thing. I think, oh my, whatever happened to my good old Chevrolet? But I often think about this because I had a person up in up in Portland, said, I'm going to go to San Diego to live, and I've sold my house, and I've got everything all packed up, and I'm ready to go. So I go over to his house, and I think this is going to be just a little, he only have a 3-bedroom house. But I've never been in the 2 bedrooms that you meet going down the hall. And they were packed to the ceiling with stuff that he accumulated for the last 20 years. He didn't throw anything away. And I said, well, what are you going to do with all this stuff? He said, well, we're going to put it out at the curb, and I'm paying a guy to haul it away. I'm thinking 2 rooms, that's a lot of stuff. So I go out through the kitchen, out through the garage, and I'm piling out at the curb, and I'm supposed to help in opening up these 2 rooms. There should be nothing in it. And all of a sudden, as I'm doing this, and I come back through the front door, through the living room, dining room, grab another box and go out through the garage, and the pile wasn't getting any bigger. And I couldn't think of what's going on. And the universe said, stand still for a minute. And just then, he comes out of the garage, grabs a piece and starts going back into the house with it. And I said, what are you doing? He says, I can't stand the stress of you going away, all this stuff. I've got to take it with me. And I said, you really got to take it with you? Yes. He paid the moving company to take that room and a half, almost 2 full rooms of trash, along with all the rest of the stuff, down to San Diego, trucking it down. It gets down there, and he goes to unload it, and his apartment was much smaller than his house. And those 2 rooms that he packed to take down had to be put out at the dumpster at the place. And the manager said, we are not going to pay for you bringing all that stuff down here and then putting it in our trash. You have to pay for hauling that away. And then I get a phone call from him, and he's complaining to me about the cost of shipping it down there and having it there. And I said, didn't you learn something today? He said, what? I said, not beyond spending your money, but you've got all of this trash you don't even use anymore. You have the mindset of something long ago and far away that you should have all of this stuff around you. And it's strangling you. What are you going to do about it? He said, I could rent another room. I could go to the storage bin. And I said, I hung up. I figured I had enough. That's enough. And this is what I find about everybody is these difficult times and these events create an opportunity for transformation. Time to get rid of all of the stuff that we don't need. Why are we dragging history along with us? The anger we have with other people, all of that nonsense that's covering up our brain so it doesn't function properly. We need to flip it over. And that's why it was interesting to think of last Wednesday, Reverend Kinder was here, and she talked about the Thoreau Tower card, about falling down. This is a time for new activity. I think it's the most fantastic time. I don't know about you guys, but I keep telling God to keep me alive. I want to see what these wonderful people are going to do with this new creation they're going to be forced to take on. If they have a choice, if we can do it in a short time, or we can take 50 years to do it. Now I'm hoping everybody goes for the short time. By 2023, we should be out of this. But if those of us that don't believe this is a crisis, we don't believe there's going to be an illness, we don't believe that old people are going to die, today I got a flash on the news. They're finding young people are now breaking out with this pandemic disease. And I think, I'm glad to share the wealth. If they want to be foolish enough to be out there playing in it, let it be. But this is the time, really, to really step out on your beliefs, your connection to God power, metaphysically. And most of you have belonged sometime during your life, went to an Orthodox church, and there's one phrase in the Bible that says, Jesus reported, "These things I have done, you can do also and greater." And the question I'm asking is, why aren't each one of us, if we believe in that statement alone, we should be doing greater? Putting away old trucks, old belief ideas, old prejudice, all of that stuff, and take a new look at what we're looking at. Are we really seeing what we thought we were seeing, or are we colored by history? I had the greatest difficulty. My parents had a hang-up on two things. My dad didn't like Italian people, and my mother didn't like the Polish girls. And I dated both of them. I wanted to find out what was wrong with them. And, besides the color and their names, they weren't any different from any other girl that I knew in high school or college. And I thought, what's wrong with them? And I'd go home and say something to my parents, and they'd say, "Oh, you just don't understand tradition." And I said, "But look what you're missing." I had more fun with those two people because they showed me a world I didn't even know. The Polish girl, she could tell me a joke every day. She knew more jokes than any person I've ever known in my life. And we went to a concert someplace, and I said, "We'll never get out here with all these people." She says, "I'll just draw a line on this wall and we'll just open the door and go out." And I looked at her and I said, "You're kidding." She said, "Yeah, but it sounded good." But this was the whole thing. And when I worked for the federal government, I met all different nationalities, all different races. And that was one of my prime projects, is helping women, everyone, to be spawned on their talent, not their gender, not their color, not their race, but they had a talent that would make things for all of us. And that's what we need to look at, is look at all the people out there that could give us an opportunity. Well, another thing I've just noticed the other day, they had a little storm over in Alabama. And there was a woman there, she was wringing out her hanky, crying, and the whole house was level. I haven't seen one like that in a long time. It was really spread out over all the acreage because the wind must have really hit that one straight on. And she was crying about all her pictures and all her old furniture and all the things that she had stored in there, and she knows she's never going to recover, and I don't know what I'm going to do. And she's wringing her hanky, and I'm thinking, lady, that God did you a wonderful thing. He gave you a chance to start over. There's agencies that will help you build a house. There's agencies that will give you furniture, new stuff. There's agencies to start everything. But she can't hear that because all she's thinking about is that little old truck, that car, that house that needs a lot of repairs. She said it was getting old, and that's why it blew up when the wind blew it. And I'm thinking, isn't it too bad that she can't let go tomorrow? When I first entered this metaphysical world, my instructor told me that he wanted me to put a date tag on all my clothing and everything that I buy. And after 10 years, whether I wore it, used it, abused it, or anything, get rid of it. Make room for new concepts, new ideas, new events. And I thought he was a little squirrely, but I did what he said because he was my instructor. And what a great deal that was. I got me into a whole mood that when I would move every 2 years, I left what I could put in my car, went with me, and the rest of the stuff stayed back and gave it to the next people. I got all I needed out of that. I'm looking for something new, something to bring up a new concept, a new idea, because I'm going to be in a new place. If I go home, that furniture is going to remind me of yesterday. I don't need yesterday, I need today, because things are going fast. And those of you that are in my age bracket, we find these new handheld gadgets where we can see pictures of everybody going on and whatever. I'm getting obsolete because now I go along and I'm trying to get something started and a little kid runs over and says, "Can I help you?" I'm thinking, oh my, does it show? Does it show that bad? And they said, "Oh, don't be afraid. It's just do this, do that, boom, boom, boom. There it is. It's all ready for me to go." And I think, isn't that wonderful? And I'm so proud that little kids do that to show me, look what I can do. And I'm patting on the head and says, thank you for doing it. Sharing. And you know, that's one of the things I miss growing up. Like, we're from Pennsylvania, the world of Dolly Parton, and they was community. We all helped each other all during the Depression. There was not, this is mine, this is ours. We did everything together as groups. We never threw food away. We always had someone we could take it over and have them lunch or meal with them or invite them into the house. I remember it was not uncommon to see 2 or 3 strangers sitting on our kitchen table every night during the Depression from time to time. And when we had someone knock at the door and said that they were hungry, come on in. They didn't sit on the back porch, they sat at the kitchen table. And my brother and I, we knew what was going to happen next. We could get our peanut butter sandwiches and hot chocolate, and we're going to go on the back porch and have a picnic. We saw the good side of it. Look at we're getting, and they had to eat broccoli, parsnips, turnips, all that awful food that we used to have to bury in mashed potatoes to learn how to eat it. If you don't see it, you could swallow it, maybe not know it. I don't know about you, but God had a wonderful sense of humor when he had my mother do everything with mashed potatoes. Every meal had mashed potatoes to help bury what was not palatable. You had to eat a taste of everything. She said, we will never insult the hostess. If she serves you food, you eat it. You find some way to eat it. And I'm showing you how. And if they pass it to you, you can pass it by. But if they put it on your plate, you have to eat it. And I always prayed, oh God, we would always say our grace, pass the plate. Pass the plate. Don't let her mama put food on my plate because I don't want mashed potatoes. Especially some houses, they didn't have mashed potatoes. So we had to eat it straight out. But you know, that's what I'm saying. There was a chance for awakening, to understand we had to cultivate a taste for it. I can now eat all of that stuff and not make a face. And some of it's not so bad. After time, I think it goes on. But there's all of these new opportunities that are coming at us. And it's going to come on full out. So we got to get rid of the little old house and all the old thoughts and jump in and says, I don't understand it. Someone there will stand up and says, I'll help you. And that's where the conversation began. I'll help you. And like last Wednesday, you saw Madge say people would open the door for her. And there's things like this are happening. And there's a difference. Can I help you? Is going on. And it is awakening, even though we're lost in the machines and the cameras and everything, and with the events going on. But there's a lot of good things going on. The news only carries the guys that want attention, but it doesn't talk about all the silent marchers that are out there saying, I'm here. They're doing God's work, saying, the majority is saying we need changes. We need changes in everything. We can't do business as usual. We're evolving. We're awakening. One of the things that we used to be taught in our own school, high schools, was don't do something to someone if you couldn't do it to yourself. If you don't like it done to you, don't do it to someone else. And that was driven into our head all the time by the school system. It says, that's why we get along in the school. We're learning sports, competitive sports, but when we're on the courtyard, we're competitive. But when we walk off the courtyard, we are friends. We don't take that competitive along with us being angry because you won and we lost. Think about that. And this is what we're looking for all of us as we go through this time of this pandemic. I don't know when it's going to end, but every day there's an opportunity for you to look back and start cleaning out the closet, start getting rid of ideas that don't fit anymore. Can you find time to make friends with your worst enemy and just say, hey, if we can't be friends, let's be neutral. Let's let it be over. And it's going on. I don't know many of you people out there because I come from back east. And back east, the reason I'm out here is we had traditions. And I didn't want to do traditions any longer. They were obsolete in Europe. And when they came to America, they brought them with them. And they wanted to keep them here in America. And I said, you're not doing that to me. I'm not doing that. I'm leaving. And my parents stood up very broadly and said, wow, you will regret this day. And I said, why? And he said, because we're going to shun you. Both sides of the family. Nobody is allowed to write to you, communicate to you or anything. And I looked at both of them and I said, that's not so bad. I won't have to do Christmas cards, birthday cards, stamps. I don't have to keep remembering all these extended families anymore. I mean, free. I'm going to be out there enjoying. And they said, well, you won't inherit anything. And I said, oh yes, wouldn't that be too bad? I remember you got some of that furniture that's made during the turn of the century. It's 100 years old. I never liked it anyway, and I'm glad I'm not inheriting it. They couldn't make me unhappy because God keeps saying to me, make room for tomorrow. Make room for opportunities. Make room to be alive. When they told me when I was 19, I'd only live to be 83, I thought that's a long ways away. When I got close to 83, I said, that's too close. I got to stick around to 100. Because I want to see what the rest of the people are doing. And the most important part of all of this is don't be angry about being housebound. Or don't be angry because you have to wear a mask. Or they got all these rules out there. They want you to stay alive so when this is all over, we can have one of the greatest parties going around the world. That's what I'm looking for. Because I'll buy as much champagne as I can to help alcoholic and non-alcoholic, to help people celebrate their evolution, their transformation, their awakening to the spiritual reality of why they're here. And one of the things I want you to all remember, all of these things that you think are so valuable in your life right now, when you die, you can't take it with you. But the only thing you can take with you is the anger and the frustrations and the hostilities you kept in that mind tank of yours. And someday you have to come back in a physical form and unload the wagon. So let's unload the wagon during this pandemic. And while we're doing that, let's do a meditation together. Let's, you and me, and invite our God Spirit coming in and our guardian angels that help us through this daily day. And we lift up our eyes unto the hills from whence cometh our help. Our help cometh from the Lord. Realize we have this day to be more. At the end of the day, I need to write it down in my little book. I added one new thing today. And soon I'm going to start saying 2 and 3 and 4 and 5. And I'm going to erase all the ways we used to do it long ago and far away. I'm listening to my guardian angel who says, go this way, you're going to be safe. Do this and look at your expanding your consciousness. Knock on this door and they'll give you a job. Being in partnership with your spirituality. Being in partnership with your Creator. Finding the joy of being alive. That's why we came here. That's why we're here. We petition our Creator to have a physical form to come and feel what love feels like, what food feels like, what the world is like. And are you a part of this, the empowerment side, or are you on the destructive side, or are you just standing there saying, I don't know. You decide. That's why we're here. Free choice. What is your choice today? Write it down. Pull in the energy to make it happen. And this is the life you're going to be living. One that can't complain about because you're designing it right here, right now in this meditation. And we bless the guardian angel that's working with us. We bless the humans on this earth plane that will fulfill our request. And we bless ourselves for having the courage to make a goal that empowers everyone, now and forever. Amen. I hope that you enjoyed going back, talking about means and changes. It is difficult. I will not play it easy. Think of this is your time to be more. Why not you? Thank you. Have a successful life. Goodbye for now.